Alrighty. So nobody that's watching, is there people here? There's one guy here. Okay, let's go. Basically, the reason I'm doing this is because there's a lot of people that say the Rebalance program doesn't do jack, to which I strongly disagree. Rather than complaining about the Rebalance program, I want to say, hey, why don't we just have fun and say, what if we rebalanced everyone? Like, as many champions as possible. I do have some ineligible champions here, and that's because I have imposed upon myself some rules for what I can and can't do. Rule number 1, champions that have already been rebalanced, updated, or have otherwise had a major bug fix cannot be balanced right now. Rule number 2, I am allowed 3 black balls, and only 3 black balls per year, which I can use to leave an eligible champion unchanged. And then rule number 3, any rebalance change I commit cannot change a champion's intended purpose, nor can it involve abilities and tech that did not properly exist at the time of their release. Let's say I wanted to give Galan Pulverize. I cannot give Galan Pulverize because Pulverize did not exist at the time of Galan's release. Same rule applies if I want to rebalance, say, Serpent. I can make him weaker on defense, but I still need him to be strong on defense. His intended purpose is to be a defensive pain in the ass. So he has to stay a defensive pain in the ass. I'm going to save Cap Wilson for last. I'm going to save Misty Knight for last as well because they're going to be the most work. I feel like we should ease into this. Looking at her attributes at a glance, she is an all-arounder, and she absolutely is. She is a very great utility powerhouse. She has a lot of stuff going on for her. Finishing a combo with a light attack or landing a heavy attack pauses all personal debuffs on the opponent for 7 seconds, which is nice. However, this pause does not pause during special attacks, which annoys me. If you've played Omega Sentinel, you know that your basic attacks are in high demand. You want to be using medium attacks to apply more plasmas and medium attacks to apply your debuffs, and also to refresh those debuffs when they run out. But you also want your light attacks to pause stuff, and you want to land heavy attacks to pause stuff and to switch your different modes. It feels like that's an intentional flaw of the character. Like, it feels like for all this utility that you have, you shouldn't be allowed to have free reign with your basic attacks, which in the context of 2022 was probably a good decision. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, which is unavoidable when you're going back here and looking at all these champions, with the benefit of hindsight intact, I think we need to add a pause during this ability. There's also the issue with AI, because like, if you pause the debuff and you land a special 2 and you're trying to keep up the pause, trying to apply the pause again, and the opponent gets up and they just stand there, and then they just stand there, and they don't let you pause the debuffs. Congratulations, you just landed like 6 to 7 plasma debuffs, only to watch them erode before your very eyes. Like, good job, player. This might make her a little too easy to use, but this is the only change that I can make against her that doesn't redefine her or make her busted. Defender strength is 3? That is interesting. I've never thought of Black Cat as a defender. If you look at what Black Cat can do, she is absolutely a menace. She, like, as far as what she can do, no notes. Like, her damage output, no notes. Her damage is amazing. But I think that the thing that holds her back is that her defensive ability accuracy reduction only goes up to 100. We have had a lovely node called Steady Buildup. And what Steady Buildup does is that, in addition to the stuff where it's like get a Fury passive when they have 3 more debuffs, haha, it also increases their defensive ability accuracy by 100%. Just the fact that that's a side piece, that's not even the whole node. That's the first bit of the node, and there's a whole other bit you have to worry about. Defender, just in general, 100% defensive ability accuracy. You might as well just make them immune to it. There's nothing else about Black Cat that I can change in confidence. I can adjust the special 3 so that way it has more of a function, which I kind of don't want to do. My intended purpose here is that special attack 3 would allow her to go beyond her base ability accuracy reduction. But in Everett's fights, they're usually immune to ability accuracy reduction in some way, or at the very least, either she's proofed enough to where you can't just shut it down completely. I want to change her in a way where her performance in short form content isn't much stronger, because it's already pretty decent. It's already pretty good. 9 lives will also increase Bad Luck Aura's maximum reduction by 10% flat for every personal combo shield on Black Cat. This is too easy. This is way too easy for somebody to do. So, yeah, no, that's too easy. I gotta scrap this. This isn't it. 9 lives will also increase the potency of Black Cat's sabotage debuff by 6% for every personal combo shield on Black Cat. No, because the sabotage debuff, that's not how math works. Damn it. Oh man, I gotta do math, dude. Man, this sucks. Why did I agree to do this? 15%, 40%. I can't do math. I've been out of school too long. All right, 15% of 40% is 6. 15% of 40% is 6. 6 times 9, that is 36. No. That's 54. 6 times 9 is 54. That means that's 50. That means the maximum output of Black Cat's defensive ability accuracy reduction would be now 154%. I think that's decent enough. That doesn't completely shut down steady buildup, but it does make it a coin flip now. Next champion is Scorpion. I can't remove an immunity. I really wish I could. I really want to remove the shock, but I just can't. I just cannot. That's too much. When you think about playing Scorpion, when you think about taking Scorpion into a fight, does anybody charge heavy and wait for the opponent to go in? Not a damn one of you said that they do. Okay, so I fixed his rotation. The chance for him to trigger evade becomes 100% while he's charging. No, that actually makes him way too safe. You know what? Okay, yeah. So you can have one of two things. Either the opponent can be infuriated while he's charging heavy attack for a certain amount of time, or his chance to evade becomes 100 while he's charging a heavy. I think the first one is probably what's going to be it, because not only does it tie it to Scorpion Sense, which can be disabled and go on cooldown, it can also fail thanks to ability accuracy reduction, and it also doesn't guarantee that your rotation will go off. Like, it doesn't guarantee that you'll actually get it off. Here are the two changes I've made to Scorpion. Scorpion's... Somebody's kicking something in the apartment above me. Jesus Christ. Scorpion Sense's chance to trigger an evade becomes 100% while Scorpion is charging a heavy attack. And I've also lowered the base damage of Scorpion's Sting debuff burst. I've lowered the base damage specifically, and there's a reason for this. Scorpion feels so dominant, not just because he does so much. In addition to that, his playstyle is so easy. It is so safe. He's still protected. He still shuts down the same thing he shuts down normally, but now you have to work for his damage. But now that also makes it to where if you're an attacker and you charge a heavy attack at Scorpion and the opponent just stands there and you whip it in the air, if they try and punish you, you're still going to evade, which is cool. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. So now you can get one easy evade with easy intercept with Scorpion by abusing this ability. But if it expires in this way, the cooldown is doubled. So there you go. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know a lot about what Wong does exactly, but I know he's really, really good. For things that are specifically for Wong, I know he is really good. But given that he's already kind of an annoying defender, and given that he's still a very good Everest champion without cross-fight ramp, I may have to put him in the black ball. I think this is an easy black ball. I think Wong is just such a solid character by design and by execution. There he goes. He's in the black ball. He is in the black ball now. What do people complain about Rintrah? How do people complain about Rintrah? They don't. Wait a minute. Was Rintrah bug fixed? Rintrah was bug fixed, wasn't he? Hold on. Wow. Okay. So he actually... So here's the thing. He didn't have enough bugs that seeped into his rebalance program, but he had a lot of bugs. He had a lot of bugs. I'm barely remembering that he had so many bugs on release. Okay, I gotta make a judgment call here. Are the copious amount of bug fixes that Rintrah has been put under, does that accumulate to one major bug fix? You know what? I'm gonna say screw it. I'm rebalancing Rintrah anyway. Okay, I think I got it. So, because the thing is, I don't want to buff Rintrah because he's already really strong. So I'm going to adjust some stuff really quick. So let me see what I can do here. First one is that Mystical Timer will now pause during Rintrah's special attacks. This means that if you launch a special 2 while you have the mystical charges expiring, they will pause. So you are guaranteed to get the maximum value of your special 2. However, now all special attacks will remove mystical charges to activate their effect. I think what this does more than anything is that it just makes Rintrah more consistent as an attacker, because you're already relying on the RNG gods to give you a crit on special 2. If you're going to crit on special 2, you may as well send him to the moon, you know? Well, if you gain too much power, then that's going to cause a problem. Yeah, Rintrah's power gain is actually pretty terrifying. So I've lowered the stack limit of Never Back Down's power gain buffs to 1. Basically, so that way you have some control over your power. So I think that works. I think this works fine. If I'm wrong about this, you know, just let me know, and I will promptly leave the game and never think about ever changing anything ever again, so long as I live. There he is. There he is. It's the guy. It's the guy. It's Hulkling. It's the it's pain in my ass, dude. I am nerfing his ass to the Earth's crust. I'm going to punch him in a hole so deep down he pops his head out from China, dude. Oh, I hate this character. I hate this character with a passion. Immunity to power burn, drain steel. He was the... Okay, so I affectionately refer to this as the cosmic cocktail. If a modern cosmic champion is going to be released as an attacker, they have to be immune to drain, steel, and burn. Why is he immune to power steel? That's a mystic tool. Why do... It's Doctor Doom. I forgot. Okay. So yeah, that's the first change. Not even gonna debate it. Removed immunity to power drain. That's the only immunity I'm gonna remove because power steel. It's power steel. Oh my god. Knowing the difference between all of the power manipulation effects is like knowing the difference between true accuracy, true strike, true sense, true focus, true damage, and true lies. I don't know. I'm not gonna say general damage nerf. I'm gonna say this. Okay, removed attack rating bonus per unique buff. We have two changes in mind for Hulkling's power gain. Either we change it to where it has a base of 2% but scales up per unique buff, or it has the same potency as it does now, but if Hulkling is indestructible or unblockable, it doesn't work during that time. I think that latter one is more conducive to a fair Hulkling gameplay. Awesome Sauce, if you have an opinion on how I should change Hulkling, let me know if you have an idea or if you prefer one change over the other, because, you know, like, as much as I despise Hulkling, I actually don't use him that often, you know, or I don't see him used that often because I just... Like, I see Hulkling on screen and I just go to sleep. I see Hulkling on screen and I just... Valkyrie is such a solid champion. I have no idea what I would do to her. Like, she's so well done. She is so perfected. Like, I might have to blackball her. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to this champion. I have to blackball her. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. What do we think about Galan? I don't want to blackball another champion. I think we have to change Galan at some point. Do we buff Galan? Do we nerf Galan? Do we adjust Galan? What should we do? Yeah, so basically, whenever Galan prevents a power drain, power burn, or power lock, or special lock effect from a non-mystic champion, via immunity, he gains bonus buffs. And basically what this means is that if he hits into Penny Parker's block, he will erase her from the universe. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, it is. I agree. It's way too cheesy. It is way too cheesy. Like... I have no problem with him erasing Penny. I just want there to be a little more interaction. I think this is a good way to do it. Oh, what do I change for Quicksilver? Man, speed up his animations. That's actually a pretty valid complaint. That's kind of unavoidable with multi-hit champions, though, is the thing. Like, you can't feasibly speed up Okoye's animations or like Northstar's animations, because they're going as fast as the game will allow them to for stuff to make sense, you know? When a champion's animations are out, I think they're set in stone. Unless they do a full overhaul. I think it's set in stone. Combo her heavy from second medium. I have no idea. When did that happen? It is. This did happen. It did happen. And it's at 2019. August 27th, 2019. Wow. Was I playing the game during 2019? I'm pretty sure I was. How did I not hear about this? What's up, man? I love MCOC too. I love MCCO too. You know what? Oh, I got it. I know how to do Quicksilver. I know how to fix the animation problem without fixing the animations. So now, okay, so all All this does is that this gives you a choice. So if you can't deal with the long animations, you just do medium, maybe a light or two, and then medium. On the few times I play Quicksilver, there's something so disheartening about going into a full 5-hit combo and not landing for whiplash debuffs. Did someone do the math? Like the average is 4.5 whiplashes per combo? Oh, I could probably do that math right now, actually. Like for this one. How do I do averages again? I've been out of high school for too long. I can't do math, bro. I've been employed for too long. I've been paying bills for way too long. I cannot do that math so easily now. Let's nub it down. Let's put it back down to 85%. New whiplash is 565. That's the old one was 4, right? Was like 4.5. Yeah, okay. So that's decent enough. Not only is that a stronger average, but it gives you more control over what combo you want to use. That's good. That's a very good average. I think I'm happy with that. Nobody will nerf Titania harder than Kabam did by with the intimidation debuff. They can't deny it. They cannot deny it in a way that I will believe them. Kabam has messed with the enemy AI and intimidate. But I have to bring this up because I guarantee you when I make this video and people watch this and they're like, yo, why'd you nerf Titania? She's already suffering. I need to give context to why Titania is getting nerfed. If I don't, people are gonna get mad about it. But they don't understand that the reason Kabam mess with the AI to make Titania non-functional is because, without sugarcoating it, she is too dangerous to be left alive. She is literally too dangerous to be left alive, and it's because she does so much. I mean, like, realistically, special lock on the special 3 wouldn't be that bad, actually. Because that would fix the problem of, like, okay, now we can make Titania work specifically how he wants her to work and not make it reliant on Intimidate specifically. This actually isn't that bad of a change. This is not that bad of a change as far as fixing the issue with Titania. These are the problems that indirectly make other champions worse because these guys ruin it for everyone else. So like Titania's Intimidate is so strong, we have to nerf Intimidate, but now a champion that's balanced like Gladiator can't function because he needs Intimidate to work. It's not the only thing I want to do to her. I want to nerf at least one more thing about her because in general she's just strong. Problem with this change too is that this causes class collision because Special Lock is a tech tool specifically and Titania, hypothetically speaking, shouldn't have it. But Titania is already a character that has all the debuffs and Titania also has access to Stagger of all things. So I think she can get away with having Special Lock since it solves the problem. I think something we should also do is we should also put a stack limit on her Fury buffs. What's around how many debuffs, how many Fury passives do you get on maximum with Titania usually? It's like 20 something, right? There's special 3 you can get like 60. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, you can get like 60. You can get like 60 with the special 3. Damn. Okay. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Can we, what should we put the stack limit at? Yeah, like this is why I hate messing with exact numbers for that exact reason, Indigo. I hate messing with that exact, I hate messing with numbers for that exact reason because there is no way for me to know if a stack limit of 30 is a safe stack limit without going into the game's code, changing the physical description, and then trying it out on a test server. And I'm not a Kabam dev, so I can't do that, obviously. I think let's leave it at 35 because why not? And if I'm wrong about where exactly she should be, then somebody's gonna point it out to me at some point. Whatever happens, happens. Again, another all-arounder. I think that is exactly what Idum's problem is. Like, he counters Bishop, but nobody else is the thing. You know, I already see it. I already see the problem here. So the reason why he counters Bishop so good is that this ability that applies energy vulnerabilities specifically only activates when they gain 2 or more prowess effects at once. And the only champion that does this is Bishop. Yeah, so this ability right here, that clauses on the prowess effects, I've now changed it. Updated clause to energy vulnerability. If the opponent gains a prowess effect, a 5-second timer is started. If they gain another prowess effect before that timer expires, both effects are converted into a single energy vulnerability debuff. This also allows iDoom to tackle stuff like aggression prowess. So if you're fighting an opponent on aggression prowess and they're turtling up and they're gaining a prowess and prowess and prowess, those prowesses you're basically never going to get more than one prowess from that. You're basically just stacking on energy vulnerabilities. That might be subject to some weird coding in the game, but the way I'm imagining it right now, he can counter Bishop the same way he does normally and counters other stuff just as well. Oh, you know what? I got it. I know I can give him one more thing. Yeah, I think it would be too much to give Iron Doom Nullify immunity outright, but I think protecting his armor up buff specifically from Nullify is good enough. You know what? Actually, hold on. Iron Doom's dexterity can be nullified, or if you give him an Odin pre-fight, those can be nullified, but his armor up and his regens cannot be nullified. It's not a lot, but it kind of makes sense for Doom, you know? Because he is Doom. He should have a little, like a dash of Mystic safety, you know? I know the complaint people give about Spidey Supreme is that he has no block proficiency, and that he's a noodle, and that if you get hit once, you die. And I understand that, but I think that's kind of an intended weakness of the character, because he does a lot of stuff that people don't consider. Like, I don't like that you put Spidey Supreme on defense, and you don't need a counter to kill Spidey Supreme. You just need to kill him before his miss becomes a problem. I think at the end of the day, it really is just his health pool. That's the only thing that I can think of that's a major problem with him, because his health pool is the crux of a lot of his complaints. This feels tacked on, but I don't know what else to do. This feels super foreign to his kit, but I have no idea what else to give to Spider-Man to make him more tanky. So not only does this change make it to where they won't protect against power sting damage specifically, because that occurs on a special attack, but it also makes it to where if you're whittling him down with a damage over time character, you can use the window of him using a special attack to wither him down. So that way it's not locking you specifically to power sting characters. Oh, it does. It does make Gladiator better for Spider-Man Supreme. All right. We got to talk about a funny one. So, because of the recent Spider-Woman controversy, there are so many people up in arms about the fact that Spot is a 5 out of 5 defender. I think given the massive discrepancy between Spot being a 5 out of 5 defender and him being what he is, we have to buff him defensively. Yeah, so I've heard from multiple people before that the champion attributes are usually designed to be general guidelines for characters and aren't supposed to be super indicative of what a champion should do and what they can't do. But given that they're advertised as looking at a champion at a glance, I feel like that's disloyal. I feel like that's the attributes are definitely not doing, even if they're doing what they're quote unquote intended to do, they're not doing what the community expects them to do or what a player should expect them to do. Think about this. You're sent back to 2022. You're fighting against a Spot on defense in Battlegrounds. What is the one champion you'd think of to decimate him in less than 30 seconds? It's this right here. It is this freaking cesspool of metal that ruins so many champion designs because he just says no. So I'm going to make Spot Archangel proof. I think that's the best thing we can do for him. Okay, so this is the first one I want to do. Spot's defensive ability accuracy can no longer be modified except while he is suffering from disorient or sabotage. Actually, no, that's better language. Can no longer be reduced except while he is suffering from disorient or sabotage. So not only does this protect him from Domino, this also protects him from Archangel, and it also protects him from Falcon. You've got to use a champion like Masacre or Black Cat or somebody else with a disorient. I can't recall. Crossbones. That's another one. That's wow. Okay, that's perfect. This is a really good change too. So because of this change we've suggested for Spot, he is immune to passive defensive ability accuracy reductions while he doesn't have disorient or sabotage on him. Spot is a dimensional being, so Blade reduces his ability accuracy with Danger Sense, but Spot is immune to that. But because of Mephisto, Danger Sense will bypass immunities. That's such a dumb interaction. Like, that's so stupid. It's dumb. I hate that. It is what it is, but God, do I hate that. I want to give him an immunity so bad, but there's not a lot of immunities that make sense for Spot and are also impactful to what he's countered by. He could be Rupture immune. But I mean, I don't think that makes him harder as a defender. So this, again, this is specifically for Archangel. But it also means that if you try and play safe through Spot, he's going to whittle down your health pool. Because it doesn't make sense for him to have block penetration, but it does make sense for just Spot being Spot to kind of bypass your block and hit through you. Like, already this clause shuts out so many obvious counters to Spot. And this clause as well also shuts down a lot of cheap counters to Spot. So I think this is good for him. I still wouldn't say it makes him 5 out of 5, but it definitely gets him way closer. Oh, I love that. I love that artwork. Oh my God. Hello, madame. Damn, that artwork looks so good. That's crazy how beautiful that looks. I love the artwork on these. There's no way that Spot was a 5 out of 5 and Jessica Jones was a 4. That is wild to me. I think we just have to blackball her, honestly. Jessica Jones. I don't even think I want to look at her kit. I think she does exactly what she's intended to do. Every time I don't really get to play Jessica Jones as an attacker very often, but every time I see the special one, I always imagine an Ed, Ed, Eddie bonk sound effect. No, okay, so here, okay, what sound effects are we adding to all these abilities? What do we need? We need garbage can should be the metal pipe falling sound effect. And the, what inflicts Incinerate? Propane tank, because it inflicts Incinerate, it should do the microwave sound, like the doo-doo-doo, like just melting you. Yeah, these two have to be changed, so I have a free black ball. These two are the only ones that left, and I have a free black ball. We're nearing the end of the road. We have 2 champions that desperately need a tune-up, and are going to be way more work than every other champion we worked on. Let's start with the one that I barely learned how to play today. She is not a 1.5 on damage. She has a lot more damage than 1.5. But then you have Ease of Use 4, which I think is a lie. I wouldn't call it like a 2, but I would call this, Ease of Use is closer to like a 2.5 or a 3, I would say. Utility should be higher. With what she does on paper, she should have a utility of like a 3.5. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. The biggest change. It's unfortunate because I love abilities that are like this. I just think some of these things need to be changed. The first thing I'm going to change is that background investigation now is between 40 to 20 seconds because it scales with the signature ability, and it is indefinite upon completing. All right, so here's what I got. So skill will now grant a 4-second Fury buff each time she's inflicted with a damage over time debuff. Because the old skill required you to have bleed debuffs on you. Not only bleed debuffs, but also currently on you. So while you're taking damage, you're dealing more damage, which is not fun. So now each time you get inflicted with damage over time, you get the Fury buff for 4 seconds. It is 4 seconds, it's very short, but this gets applied even if you purify the debuff because of Misty Knight's purification ability. So that makes her really good for hazard shift if you're fighting against a skill champion. Cosmic, now a 5% weakness debuff for each unique buff on the opponent. And then also Mystic now reduces incoming nullify and stagger ability accuracy by 85. I wanted to make it 100, but I shouldn't give her everything. The science one is great, and the tech one is okay. I don't think these two need to be changed. I don't think her damage is bad. I think probably just a small tune-up. Okay, sorry. Side note, this art also looks beautiful. This art looks so gorgeous, bro. I understand why she should get crit rating, because she doesn't get guaranteed critical hits until Equilibrium, and Equilibrium has a weird cooldown to it, so you're not always getting guaranteed crits. But it just makes so much more sense for the critical damage rating. Yeah, that's a good call. That is a very good call. I appreciate you being here, Indigo. It's very, like, I have a lot of ideas for champion changes, but it's so hard to execute on them all because I only have my own experiences, and I know people use certain champions way more than I do. So I really appreciate having a second opinion on this. We are going to tear this man apart and create the strongest Avenger from the ashes. So this basically, so not only does this mean, oh hey, you get to refresh it at no cost if you trigger it again, but also if you want to trigger it the first time, doing it via an intercept will not cost an armor up, which is nice. Okay, so this one's a little weird. Sig ability will also deal rupture damage when Captain America auto blocks or when his ability fails to trigger through a block, which I think is better for him defensively, because now if he auto blocks your special attack, you take damage, and if you try and hit him through the block and your ability fails, you also take damage, which I think is a little better. Let me keep going, and I'll double back and see what's a bad idea when I'm done.
One debt to society later.
If his bulwark would be triggered again while it's already active, it's refreshed at no cost. It also becomes a passive when it is nullified. His Sig ability will now deal rupture damage anytime his auto block is triggered or when an ability fails to trigger through his block. Captain America now starts the fight with 5 indefinite armor up buffs, meaning there's now a hard floor between how much damage you can do in a fight. If these buffs are removed for any reason, they re-trigger the next time Captain America enters lock-on. Special 3 now no longer restores armor up buffs due to this ability. Sapped charges now last 18 seconds each, previously 15, and their power drain will consume 100% of the opponent's power, previously 50. Rupture debuff from the Special 2 is now paused while Captain America is locked on, and the lock-on itself will now pause during both champions' specials. That's it. There we go. Oh man, I'm tired. I'm hungry. My girlfriend's on her way back, but I had a lot of fun doing this. I had so much fun doing this. I'm so happy with the results. Even if it gets no views, I definitely want to do this again. I thank you, Indigo. Thank you so much for coming out and helping me. You made this a whole lot more fun than it was beforehand. I really do appreciate your input on a lot of the champion buffs and a lot of the history lessons. I have a bit of a goldfish memory when it comes to specific stuff that happens in the contest, so I appreciate the history lessons on random BS with champions.